Hey, this is Jerry Fetta again with another weekly wealth walk. I want to share with you two things that I shared today with a client. As I'm hiking Jemez, I want to share these with you. Check out the red rocks we got going on today. But these are two things that I share with a client that are going to help them clarify and make more wealth building progress faster. I want to share them with you too. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. We've got another weekly wealth walk happening. So I'm just taking a hike today over at the Red Rocks in Jemez, New Mexico. Beautiful place. Let me give you guys a shot of what I'm seeing here. Check that out. So this morning I had a call with a new client. This person is a lot like I used to be, maybe some of you guys as well, in your current financial situation, but he is a business owner. He is trying to invest in real estate and he's productive. Like he's been able to do well. He saved a good amount of money last year, more than most people by far. And he just didn't feel like he was making progress. He felt like he was going off in multiple directions at once. And it was distracting because he was like, I know I need to be doing all these different strategies and all these different things to build wealth, but it feels like, I can't really focus. I've got too many of these things going on at one time. So as I started talking to him, I started to see where I was before. And I want to share a story with you about this on my own side of things. A couple years back in my business and in my wealth building, I had the same. So I was trying to grow my business. That's my active source of income. And in order to build wealth, you have to do three things. You have to be able to earn, save, and invest. That's called the triangle of wealth, right? And so that triangle of wealth means there's active income happening, right? You're saving that active income, and then you're putting that into assets that either grow or reinforce the active income, or it creates residual income. And here's what I see happen all too often. It happened with this guy. I tried to invest too soon, right? Like I was so interested in passive income and residual income. Warren Buffett talks about making money in your sleep. Well, first you need to make money when you're awake. And I wasn't doing that to the best degree I possibly could. So I was distracted, right? I was trying to take my attention off of my main active source and as quickly as I could find residual or passive sources. And it just wasn't working out. Like my business would go down, my active income would drop. The passive income I would get from investing $50,000 or $100,000 wasn't that much. It was like $500 to $1,000 a month. And so I felt like it was, like a losing battle. I was like, man, I'm doing what I think are the right things, but it's just not working out. And here's what I had to realize, and this is what I shared with this client today. There's knowledge, knowing what to do correctly, like the truth. Truth is something that works. So if something's not working, apparently it's not true. So for me, I learned the truth. When I used life insurance, it did what it was supposed to do. I knew that that was true. When I invested in real estate, it produced residual income. So I knew that that was true. But I felt like I wasn't making progress on my overall strategy, right? So even though I was doing these little one-off items of, okay, I did the sacred account, the life insurance, I did the real estate, I did the tax plan, whatever it might be. Great, I made progress on that. I've got this little flow of passive income now, or I lowered my taxes. But I was like, I still don't feel like I'm closer to wealth. I still feel like I'm really far away and I'm not progressing like I should be. So I knew that I had the knowledge, but knowledge is different than strategy. Okay, strategy, what is the long range plan? What are we doing? There's tactics, things we do, the life insurances, the real estate. That's great. You cannot win a game just on a tactical basis. Most people lack strategy as well. And it wasn't until I tapped into the strategy. If you're thinking about like campaigns, like in a war, if you study, countries doing battle and going to war and stuff, the generals all operate on campaigns. Okay, what is the long range strategy that we're gonna take? Of course, the tactic is like jump over this foxhole and shoot those guys. Anyone can figure that out. Just like with wealth, it's like invest in real estate. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to figure that out. Or set up your own banking system with life insurance. It's like, yeah, we understand that. But if you look at what's the strategy, okay, where are we going? What's the direction? Okay, just like I'm hiking right now, the tactic is walking. Put one foot in front of the other foot, keep it going, do it at an even pace, make sure I don't fall down. Walking, we figured it out. Strategy is the trail. So if I'm hiking right now and I don't know the trail, I'm probably gonna get lost. It's gonna take me longer. There's gonna be more energy expended than it needs to be. Why? Because I don't know the strategy. I don't know where I'm going. Wealth operates the same way. So what I told this client today is I was like, look, we're gonna help you with the knowledge because he had some knowledge, not all of it. Okay, to give you an example, he's like, I do real estate. I buy it really cheap and then I flip it. Sometimes I make money on the flip, sometimes I don't. So I was like, okay, good. So here's a difference in knowledge. You wanna buy your time back little by little. Residual income. What if you buy these properties, instead of flipping them, you sell or finance them or you rent them so that you get an income stream and you've bought some of your time back, and that thing turns into a deal that pays you residually instead of once. So that's knowledge. That's a tactic he can do. Is that going to make him wealthy? Not necessarily. Okay, it might help, just like keeping one foot in front of the other as I hike helps me get through the hike that I'm doing. But then I added in the strategy. It's like, okay, what is it that you're supposed to do? That's one component. How are you supposed to do it? Right? This is all in the knowledge category. But the strategy is when, in what sequence, how does that interact off of the other stuff you're doing? Because that's the other thing I ran into, is all these items start to get confused and jumbled up. And so we finished the call today. He's got a 6-month strategy we're gonna work on with him. How do we take you from where you are to where you wanna be, break it into two 90-day chunks. Okay, you can do anything in a 90-day spurt. And we're gonna implement the strategy. And so similar to this trail, it's like if I didn't break it down, let's say this is only maybe a 3-mile hike, it's not bad. But let's say this was a long one. Okay, let's say I'm doing a full day walk, full day hike. If I don't break that down into checkpoints, that's another way to get lost, because I have no semblance of time anymore. If I've got no checkpoints, even on this trail, there's checkpoints all over the place. So you understand where you are in relation to the rest of the trail. How many checkpoints happened? How many are left? How long are you taking? It gives you measurement. And that allows you to be much more strategic, because you can then take data and you can say, good, this is how long it's gonna take me to be financially independent, where my residual income exceeds my generosity, expenses, taxes, and savings. However, if I can get this done in this amount of time, or in the next 90 days, I can accomplish X, Y, or Z, I can gain some more control over how long it's gonna take overall, rather than looking at it in one shot. So these are a couple of the things I shared with this guy today, and I wanted to share them with you today as well, because it was so helpful for me when I learned this stuff, right? And a lot of the gurus and advisors and real estate people and life insurance people, they want to talk to you about their tactic. How do you get wealthy with real estate? How do you get wealthy with life insurance? It's like saying, how do you go hiking with Nike shoes? How do you go hiking with Adidas? There's different ways to do it. There's different shoes you can wear. I'm talking about how do you actually finish the trail, regardless of what shoes you're wearing. So I hope this has been helpful, guys. If you liked this video, share, subscribe. You can grab a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. That's like your roadmap. That's your blueprint. How do I get through this strategically? The whole strategy is laid out in that book. And if you grab a copy of that book and you reach out and let us know, we will actually give you free training. So grab the book, send us that proof of purchase. I'm gonna finish my hike off. I'll see you guys next time.